And a good morning to you. This is Talk TV. It's Petrie here with you until 4 o'clock this morning. Alex will be returning in about 20 minutes' time. He's going inside the newspapers for you this time, so we'll have a romp through those in a little while. But first of all, of course, it is the Cannes Film Festival. We talked to John yesterday about what goes on there. This is the 75th Cannes Film Festival, and I've got two guests, Sandro Monetti and Francis Hellier, who join me now, and I'll talk you through what they do and why they're joining us. But first of all, I want to show you a clip about their documentary, which is about the exciting inventions being created today that can give the world a more exciting tomorrow. What could they be?
Around the world, there are tech wizards making the previously unthinkable a reality. Science fiction is becoming science fact. This is a look at the awesome inventions from some amazing people.
Hi, I'm Francis Hellier.
Join me on a journey to tomorrow.
Flying cars have been talked about for years, but they're finally here. I'm about to get into the pilot seat. In the future, you won't be able to tell the difference between real people and AI replicas.
This is not Bruce Willis. It's a digital replica of Bruce, who became the first Hollywood celebrity to sell the rights to his digital replica. The Hollywood Museum in Los Angeles is home to some amazing movie props. Museums like this are also planning for a future held by tech.
The way movies are being made has been revolutionized.
This proprietary technology blends 3D CGI painted environments, live-action footage, and traditional 2D animation. An extraordinary team have come together to create transformative technology.
Medical engineering has made huge strides.
This technology could be world-changing and save tens of millions of lives. Thanks to the tech being developed now, there are some really exciting times ahead.
Roads, where we're going, who needs roads?
This is Tech to the Future.
Wow, I want to see all of that, don't you? Now. Brilliant. Francis Hellier and Sandro Monetti. Now, Sandro Monetti, Tech to the Future's director. And Francis, I've got to say, I always admire a man who produces and then puts himself in a programme as a host.
No ego at all.
None whatsoever. None. It's exactly what I'd do, I tell you. What are you two doing up at this time in the morning, by the way, apart from waiting to talk to me? Have you been out at the parties?
Well, it's Cannes. It's a party that never stops. 75 years of history. They've never seen partiers like us do, have they, Francis?
Not at all, no.
Have you seen anybody famous?
Well, we're about to see Tom Cruise, because he is making a spectacular entrance, presumably by fighter jet, to launch Top Gun 2 here. So that's our competition for attention. But not any stars yet, because we're only one day into the festival, but lots of glamorous people.
No flying cars yet, either.
No.
No, that's disappointing, isn't it? Look, this programmes like the documentary like you guys have made are right up my street. Right, because I just think that tech is so exciting. I know nothing about it. I don't know how anything works. And I really don't think I need to be honest, because I just tend to be somebody who'll use it. But what aside from a flying car, which I think is an accident really waiting to happen, it's going to be a disaster, that. What is the one piece of tech in your film, or that you've seen, that you both went, wow?
Well, I think we'd probably both agree that it is artificial intelligence actors. And Bruce Willis, who you saw, or not Bruce Willis,
amazing.
In that film, as you know, he recently had to retire from movie making on health grounds, but he sold his AI rights. His AI goes forward. So over the last few months, he's done TV commercials. And so he's not left his couch, but it is the AI Bruce Willis. And I think this is the future of filmmaking, isn't it?
It's really exciting stuff. I mean, the fact is that we can bring people back from the dead. I mean, there's fundamentally moral issues around it, I guess, and people feel uncomfortable about it. But the company we've been talking to are sort of creating a portfolio almost of actors, both alive and dead. And are able to inject them into films and it looks absolutely real. And it's very exciting.
And TV shows. You could soon have Audrey Hepburn, John Wayne and Elvis Presley on the show.
I mean, that is nuts, isn't it?
Yes. As Francis said, some moral issues around it, but, these iconic celebrities never need to die. They can go forward. And I think that if you follow this film to its natural extension, the casting notices, instead of, Ryan Gosling has been cast alongside Emma Stone, it will be, Emma Stone is starring alongside James Dean in her next movie. And so that is what the company featured here.
These actors won't have riders. They won't be annoying. They won't, they won't be demanding. You just switch them on and switch them off again. That's extraordinary.
Well, I mean, you only need to look at the ABBA Avatars concert, the Whitney Houston hologram show, which is performing nightly in Las Vegas. So the future is now.
I mean, don't actors though all have their time? Isn't that the kind of beauty of them, if you like, is that they rise to stardom, they die, we remember them. They become heroes or legends. The idea that they can go on in perpetuity, does that not mean we're not going to get new actors? I mean, why would you cast a real new actor if you can cast a dead old one?
We were speaking about this, weren't we? So we were in the British Pavilion, where all the British filmmakers hang out, the coolest place here at Cannes. And what was that British actor saying to us about, how...
Just the excitement of actually being able to act opposite some people that have sadly passed. It's a very exciting new technology. And the interesting one was, of course, Bruce Willis, where sadly now, through to illness, he's probably not able to perform anymore. But we can still see him in movies going forward, so he must have known. And in some way his digital rights. And what's quite interesting as well from a business perspective is the fact that music publishing and music publishing rights have been sold by artists for significant amounts of money. So this is also another opportunity for existing artists to find an additional revenue stream before they sadly pass.
Wow.
Die Hard 27, I say.
Yeah, I mean, I could have an avatar doing this show so I could go to bed.
Well, yeah, I mean, we joke, but yes, it is possible.
Well, I mean, this is a bit like the old Max Headroom. I don't know if you guys remember that reference. Yeah, they were saying, that's the end of presenters, that's going to be it. And Francis, you're probably going to be out of a job. You won't be hosting anything anymore. The idea behind this film, this documentary, and actually, if I can say, Francis, your microphone, there's something wrong with it. We're not hearing you very well, but Sandra, we're hearing you loud and clear. So I think the director has scuppered you, frankly. I'm just saying.
I was in your position. I didn't really know much about tech, but I was fascinated by it. And so for me to make this film, I have no credibility in this space whatsoever, but I am a storyteller. So I turned to the man who does. And Francis, when he was a wee young boy, invented online ticketing. And he's continued to be very much at the center of the metaverse. So I read about this guy in Forbes magazine, reached out to him and said, do you want to front a documentary? And the answer was?
Well, I didn't cast myself, it's just what Sandra said.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Was it not that you were saying, do you want to fund a documentary?
Possibly, yes. It's funny you say funding.
It comes out now.
Yes, it does. That's why you're such a good interviewer. But, I mean, here we are at Cannes. It's the biggest movie marketplace in the world. It's all about money, and all the documentaries here are seeking funding. But we're actually one of the rare projects that is completed and ready to go and starting its journey. So.
And who are you looking to buy it? Are you looking for a Netflix or an Amazon Prime? It's not something, do you think, would go into the cinema, or do you think it would?
Well, ultimately, here at Cannes, it's an awareness play to start the buzz, because I know, living in Hollywood, it's just actually a small group of influences there that really matter, and this is much more international, so it's letting the international marketplace know. We've already had great interest in terms of screening it, so that won't be a problem. So, yes, I think it's going to go on a streaming service towards the end of the year. But the process of making these documentaries is, first, you have to go through the awards circuit, the major festivals. And if you have success, you get a bigger prize at the end. So, yeah, we've got a splashy launch this weekend, and we go from there. The journey begins.
And have you got Bruce Willis introducing it, or have you got Marilyn Monroe? I mean, that would do you some good, wouldn't it? If you could bring them out.
Bigger.
Yes. Yeah. You're going to go bigger than that. You're going to get Francis to do it.
That's right.
Were you keen on things like Tomorrow's World? Because I think that's what's missing in our television lexicon at the moment, actually. Because I loved that programme, Tomorrow's World. It did look at really bizarre technologies that were clearly never going to happen. But quite a lot of the stuff, you know, you talked about flying cars there. You know, these were all things that were predicted, you know, 40 years ago, 30 years ago.
Absolutely. I mean, Tomorrow's World was my favourite show growing up.
Me too.
Alongside Doctor Who. So I've always had a sort of eye on the future. And I think it's such a shame that these shows don't exist anymore, because we're living in such an exciting time where all these innovations and technologies are really shaping our future, many of them for better. So I think it's a shame that young people growing up particularly don't have the opportunity to explore all this new tech.
But I was more influenced by Back to the Future 2. That scene where Marty McFly goes to the town square on October the 15th, 2015, and sees flying cars and the 3D parts and the hoverboard and all that. So that's why it's called Tech to the Future, is that we really wanted to recreate for the audience that Marty McFly moment, so you can have shock and awe, that wow factor, which it looks like you had with the trailer.
I literally can't wait to see it. I think it looks absolutely amazing. It's right up my street. The thing that I'm fascinated about with technology is have we reached not a peak, but are we just now going to make stuff smaller rather than make really new, inventive stuff? I can't even think what else could be invented. You know, you've got the iPhone, you go, wow, I mean that, or these smartphones, wow, I never saw that coming. But now that's kind of been done. Is there anything brand new? I mean, a car's still a car, even though it's a flying car. Is there anything unexpected? I mean, if it's unexpected, you wouldn't know about it. But do you know what I mean? Is there something out of left field?
It's about enhancing life and having life made easier for us. I'll give you a simplistic invention that's in our film. When you go to a restaurant, you're used to getting the menu and making your selection. When I used to go on holiday to Mallorca, you got the picture menu that showed you the egg and chips and what it looks like, sophisticated. But now, of course, in our film, we have a hologram that appears on your plate. And you move your finger and you see what the dish is going to look like. It comes out of the salt cellar, and then you can say, oh, I'll select that one by moving your finger. And then the fun isn't over, because while you're waiting for your dish to arrive, there is a picture of the chef preparing it on your plate. And so the avatar chef appears. So you no longer have to ask, what's happening with our dinner? How long is this taking? I wonder if they've put the sauce on. It all happens in front of you. Magic.
Well, that kills conversation, doesn't it? It's worse than having the phone on the table.
Conversation died years ago. You go to every restaurant, everyone's on their phone. You know, they're all
might as well just kill it off.
Each other.
Just get rid of it completely. Some of the most exciting things, of course, is medicine, medical technology, and the fact that a surgeon can operate, I don't know, in London from LA. That kind of blows my mind. That those things, that is going to help the world, isn't it? When technology like that gets even smarter, and you've got poorer countries that can't afford perhaps surgeons to go there, or don't have the money to fund them, that there will be surgeons to be able to do it before breakfast.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the last few years of the pandemic, scientists have really rallied around, haven't they? The fact they created a vaccine in such a short amount of time. And the new type of vaccine as well is incredible. And the technology in the medtech space, I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And again, as Sandra mentioned earlier, it's all about making our lives better, making our futures better. So what better example than medicine that protects us?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got in this film a company called Cytovale developing a technology that basically from the second you walk in the hospital, is able to diagnose what's wrong with you, because the major killer in hospitals is actually sepsis, which is something which isn't sort of promoted. It's often misdiagnosed, but here you can walk in a few seconds. They can tell you if they've got that or not. So rather than looking in the wrong area, so health outcomes are going to be great.
I can't wait to see this film. And you've got to make another one, because I know I'm going to be hungry for more. Both of you, thank you so much. Good luck with it all.
Tech to the Future too.
Sandro Minetti and Francis Hellier. Tech to the Future. That is the film that is going to win everything in Cannes, or it should do. And come back and see us when you get back to the UK and let us know how it all went. What a brilliant couple of guys.